The sun was setting on a quiet suburb of New York City. Golden light bathed the peaceful streets as children played in their yards, enjoying the warm summer evening. Among them was 8-year-old Tommy Anderson, tossing a baseball with his dad in front of their modest home. High above the Earth's atmosphere, unnoticed by the planet's inhabitants, a massive ship from the Galactic Empire entered orbit. Its sleek, dark form blotted out the stars as it silently glided into position. Inside the vessel, alien beings with blue skin and multiple eyes monitored countless screens, scanning the planet below. "Commander Zach Thor, we've detected unusual energy readings from the third planet," reported a junior officer, his tentacles twitching nervously. The commander, a tall, imposing figure, strode over to the main view screen. "Magnify the area," he ordered, his voice a low growl. The image zoomed in, showing the suburban street where Tommy played. The boy's laughter echoed through the quiet evening as he missed a catch, the ball rolling onto the sidewalk. "That small creature," Zach Thor pointed with a clawed finger. "It's emitting strange energy patterns. It could be a new Earth weapon." "But sir," the junior officer hesitated, "our records show it's just a human child." Zach Thor's eyes narrowed. "We can't take chances. The Empire's safety is paramount. Prepare the disintegration beam." Miles below, Tommy jogged to retrieve his ball, unaware of the danger looming above. His father called out, "Good hustle, champ. Throw it back here." In that moment, several things happened at once. Tommy bent down to pick up the baseball. His father noticed a strange shimmer in the air above his son. And aboard the Empire's ship, Zach Thor gave the fateful command, "Fire." A beam of intense, purple energy shot from the alien vessel, slicing through the atmosphere in an instant. It struck Tommy with pinpoint accuracy, enveloping the boy in a blinding light. Tommy's father watched in horror as his son simply vanished. Where the laughing child had stood just seconds before, there was now only a small scorch mark on the sidewalk and a gently rolling baseball. For a moment, the entire street fell silent. Then, a heart-wrenching scream tore through the air as Tommy's mother ran from the house, having witnessed the unthinkable from the kitchen window. Neighbors poured out of their homes, confusion and panic spreading like wildfire. Phones were pulled out, calls were made, and within minutes, police sirens wailed in the distance. Up in space, Zach Thor nodded with satisfaction. Threat neutralized. Set course for the next system. As the Empire's ship prepared to leave Earth's orbit, it had no idea of the chaos it had just unleashed. News of the incident spread at light speed. Amateur video footage, captured by a teenager across the street, went viral within hours. The grainy images of a child disappearing in a flash of alien light were broadcast on every news channel worldwide. Governments scrambled to respond. The United Nations Security Council convened an emergency session. Military forces around the globe were put on high alert. In Washington, D.C., the president addressed a stunned nation. "My fellow Americans, today we face a threat beyond anything we have ever encountered. An alien force has struck at the heart of our society, taking the life of an innocent child. We will not stand idly by. We will respond." As night fell across the United States, vigils sprang up in cities and towns. Candles flickered in the darkness as people gathered to mourn Tommy and fear for their own safety. In New York, Tommy's parents huddled together in their living room, surrounded by grieving family members and stone-faced government officials. Their world had been shattered in an instant, and now they found themselves at the center of a global crisis. Meanwhile, in secret facilities around the world, scientists and military strategists worked feverishly. They analyzed every scrap of data from the incident, searching for clues about the alien technology and any potential weaknesses. As the first 24 hours since the attack came to a close, one thing became clear to everyone on Earth. Nothing would ever be the same again. The age of innocence was over. Humanity had been thrust into an interstellar conflict it never asked for, all because of one tragic mistake. Little did the Galactic Empire know, They had just awakened a sleeping giant. Earth was angry, Earth was united, and Earth was preparing to fight back with everything it had. The day after Tommy's death, Earth woke up to a changed world. The shocking news had spread to every corner of the globe. From bustling cities to remote villages, people huddled around screens, watching the video of the alien attack over and over again. In New York, thousands gathered in Times Square. The usual bright ads were replaced by a single image, Tommy's school photo. Below it, a simple message read, "Never forget." The crowd stood in silent vigil, candles flickering in the early morning light. Meanwhile, in the United Nations headquarters, an emergency session was underway. The General Assembly Hall buzzed with nervous energy as world leaders argued and debated. "We must respond with force," shouted the U.S. representative, his face red with anger. "But how can we fight an enemy so advanced?" asked the Chinese delegate, her voice trembling slightly. As the debate raged on, a surprising voice cut through the noise. It was the representative from a small African nation, usually quiet in such meetings. "My friends," he said, his deep voice commanding attention, "we have spent too long fighting each other. Now we face a threat to all humanity. We must unite, or we will surely perish." His words struck a chord. One by one, other leaders nodded in agreement. By the end of the day, a historic decision was made. Earth would stand as one against the Galactic Empire. Outside the UN, reporters swarmed as the Secretary General addressed the world. "Today we have formed the United Earth Government," he announced. "Our sole purpose, to defend our planet and bring justice for Tommy." The news spread like wildfire across social media. #UnitedEarth and #JusticeForTommy became the top trending topics worldwide. People shared messages of support, anger, and determination. In Silicon Valley, tech giants opened their doors to government officials. CEOs and top engineers gathered in secret meetings, pooling their resources and knowledge to boost Earth's defenses. "We need to advance our technology by decades, and we need to do it now," said a grim-faced general to the assembled tech leaders. The room erupted in a flurry of ideas. Quantum computers, AI-driven battle strategies, and advanced propulsion systems were all on the table. The race to catch up with alien technology had begun. Across the globe, similar scenes played out. In Russia, top scientists emerged from secret cities, offering their expertise. In Japan, robotics engineers worked day and night on new automated defense systems. In India, software developers created complex algorithms to predict alien behavior. But it wasn't just governments and big companies joining the fight. Ordinary people found ways to contribute too. Retired veterans offered to train new recruits. Teachers held special classes to educate children about space and alien life. Farmers pledged their crops to feed the growing army of workers and soldiers. In orbit, the International Space Station became the headquarters for Earth's new space defense program. Astronauts from different countries worked side by side, their old rivalries forgotten in the face of the new threat. As the first week after the attack came to a close, the United Earth Government made another announcement. They unveiled plans for a massive space fleet, 700,000 battleships to take the fight to the Galactic Empire. The number seemed impossible, but it gave people hope. Factories around the world switched from making cars and appliances to producing spaceship parts. Shipyards that once built ocean liners now prepared to construct vessels for the stars. In Tommy's hometown, his parents watched all of this with mixed emotions. Their grief was still raw, but seeing the world come together brought them some comfort. "I never wanted this," Tommy's father said, looking at the bustling activity outside their window. "But if it means no other parent will feel our pain, then it's worth it." As night fell on the 7th day since the attack, Earth was a planet transformed. United in grief, anger, and determination, humanity prepared for a war unlike any it had ever faced. The Galactic Empire had awakened a sleeping giant, and soon they would feel its full fury. 2 months after the tragic death of Tommy Anderson, Earth had transformed into a planet-wide war machine. The once bustling cities now hummed with a different kind of energy as humanity prepared for its greatest challenge yet. In what used to be Central Park, New York, a massive shipyard stretched as far as the eye could see. Skeletal frames of spaceships rose into the sky, their sleek shapes hinting at the deadly purpose they would soon serve. Workers swarmed over the structures day and night, their determination fueled by a mix of fear and anger. "We're building the future of humanity here," said Maria Chen, lead engineer of the project. She pointed to a nearly complete ship. "Each of these beauties can take out an entire alien fleet. At least, that's what the simulations say." Across the Atlantic, in the depths of the Swiss Alps, a different kind of preparation was underway. In a high-tech bunker, the brightest minds from around the world huddled over computers and strange devices. Dr. Yuki Tanaka held up a small, glowing cube. "This," she said, her eyes shining with excitement, "is our secret weapon. It's a quantum-entangled power source. It'll give our ships near-infinite energy." Her colleague, Dr. Mohammed Al-Fayed, nodded in agreement. "And with the AI-driven defense systems we've developed, our fleet will be able to react to threats faster than any human pilot." Meanwhile, in the vast steppes of Russia, a different scene unfolded. Thousands of recruits stood in formation, their breath visible in the cold air. General Ivanov paced before them, his voice booming across the field. "You are the first line of defense for our planet," he shouted. "The aliens think they can scare us with their advanced technology, but they haven't met the human spirit yet." The recruits cheered, their voices echoing across the empty landscape. Among them stood Sarah Thompson, Tommy's former teacher. Her face was set with grim determination as she gripped her training rifle. "For Tommy," she whispered to herself. "For all of us." In orbit, the International Space Station had tripled in size. It now served as both a command center and a shipyard for smaller, faster attack vessels. Astronauts and engineers floated through the expanded corridors, their old rivalries forgotten in the face of the common threat. Commander Lei Wang looked out at the Earth below. "It's strange," he mused to his co-pilot. "We've always looked to the stars for hope. Now we look to them and see only danger." Back on the ground, in laboratories and factories around the world, new technologies were being born at an unprecedented rate. Scientists who once competed for grants and prestige now worked side by side, sharing breakthroughs and pushing the boundaries of what was possible. In a lab in Tokyo, a team cheered as they successfully tested a new type of force field. In Silicon Valley, programmers put the finishing touches on an AI that could predict and counter alien tactics. And in a secret facility in the Sahara, engineers fired up the first prototype of a faster-than-light engine. But it wasn't just about technology. In schools and community centers, people of all ages trained for various roles in the coming conflict. Children learned advanced mathematics to help with navigation calculations. Elderly folks with steady hands were taught to assemble delicate electronic components. Everyone had a part to play. As the deadline for the launch of Earth's fleet approached, tensions ran high. The United Earth government held daily briefings, updating the world on the progress of the war preparations. "We are on schedule," announced President Zoe Okoro of the UEG. "In just one more month, we will launch our fleet of 700,000 ships. The Galactic Empire will learn that Earth is not a planet to be trifled with." Her words were met with cheers and applause from around the globe. But in quiet moments, when the cameras were off, even the most confident leaders felt the weight of what was to come. In a small house in New York, Tommy's parents sat quietly, looking at a photo of their son. The world outside was changing rapidly, driven by the loss of one small boy. They couldn't help but wonder, would it be enough? Could humanity really stand against the vast unknown of space? As night fell on Earth, the planet glowed with activity. In shipyards and labs, in training grounds and command centers, humanity worked tirelessly. They were no longer just the inhabitants of a small blue planet. They were the defenders of Earth, preparing to take their stand among the stars. The day had finally arrived. After months of frantic preparation, Earth was ready to launch its massive fleet into space. The atmosphere was electric with a mix of excitement, fear, and determination. As the sun rose over Cape Canaveral, now expanded to 10 times its original size, the first wave of ships stood ready. Their sleek, silver hulls gleamed in the morning light, hiding the deadly weapons within. Crowds had gathered to watch, their faces a mix of awe and anxiety. Admiral Sarah Chen, once a humble schoolteacher, now stood at the command center. She took a deep breath and spoke into the microphone, her voice echoing across the world. Today, we take our first step into the stars not as explorers, but as defenders. For Tani, for Earth, we will prevail. With a deafening roar, the first ships lifted off. The ground shook, and a cheer went up from the crowd. Around the world, people watched on screens, holding their breath as humanity's fleet took to the skies. In orbit, the massive ships assembled. 700,000 vessels of various sizes formed up, a sight that would have been impossible just months ago. From the command ship, Earth's Vengeance, Admiral Chen surveyed the fleet. All ships report in, she ordered. One by one, the captains confirmed their readiness. Among them was Captain Jake Rodriguez, Tommy's father. He sat rigid in his chair, a picture of his son taped to the control panel before him. "This is for you, buddy," he whispered, touching the photo gently. As the fleet prepared to leave Earth's orbit, the long-range scanners suddenly lit up. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, head of the science division, called out in surprise. "Admiral, we're picking up a signal. It's the location of the Galactic Empire's homeworld." A hush fell over the bridge. Admiral Chen's eyes narrowed. How is this possible? Dr. Tanaka shook her head in disbelief. It seems our quantum entanglement communicators picked up a stray signal. We've pinpointed their location. Cheers erupted across the fleet as the news spread. They had a target, a destination. The mission had just become real. With coordinates set, the massive fleet engaged their faster-than-light drives for the first time. In a flash of brilliant light, Earth's armada disappeared into the depths of space. The journey had begun, but it wouldn't be smooth sailing. As the fleet traveled through the cosmos, they encountered challenges they had never imagined. 3 weeks into the journey, they faced their first test. A patrol of Empire ships stumbled upon the Earth fleet. Though vastly outnumbered, the alien vessels attacked without hesitation. "Evasive maneuvers," shouted Admiral Chen. "This is not the battle we're here for." The Earth ships moved with surprising agility, their AI-enhanced systems reacting faster than the Empire could track. A brief firefight ensued, ending with the patrol ships destroyed and the Earth fleet unscathed. Captain Rodriguez breathed a sigh of relief. "We did it. We actually beat them." But Admiral Chen remained cautious. This was just a small patrol. The real challenge lies ahead. As they journeyed deeper into space, the fleet encountered wonders and terrors alike. They skirted the edge of a black hole, its immense gravity tugging at their ships. They passed through a nebula of breathtaking beauty, its cosmic dust temporarily blinding their sensors. Through it all, the people of Earth watched and waited. Regular updates from the fleet kept the planet on edge. In homes and public squares, humans gathered to pray, hope, and support each other. Back on the command ship, Admiral Chen studied the star charts. They were nearly at their destination. The Galactic Empire's homeworld loomed ahead, still unseen but growing closer by the second. "We're almost there," she announced to the fleet. "Everything we've worked for, everything we've sacrificed. It all comes down to this." As if in response, the ship's alarms suddenly blared. Dr. Tanaka's voice rang out, filled with urgency. "Admiral, we've been detected. A massive Empire fleet is heading our way." Admiral Chen's jaw set in determination. This was it, the moment Earth had been preparing for. As she began issuing orders, a thought flashed through her mind. Win or lose, the universe would never forget the day humanity fought back. The alarms blared throughout Earth's massive fleet. Red lights flashed on every ship as crews rushed to battle stations. Admiral Sarah Chen stood on the bridge of Earth's Vengeance, her face set in grim determination. All ships, this is Admiral Chen. Prepare for engagement. Remember your training. Remember why we're here. For Earth. A chorus of "For Earth" echoed across the communication channels. Ahead of them, the Galactic Empire's fleet appeared. Thousands of alien ships materialized from the darkness of space, their strange designs unlike anything humanity had ever seen. At their center was a massive vessel, easily twice the size of Earth's largest ship. Captain Jake Rodriguez, on his ship Tommy's Justice, whispered to himself, "This is it, son. We're going to make them pay." The two fleets faced each other in the vastness of space, a moment of eerie silence before the storm. Suddenly, the Empire fleet opened fire. Beams of energy and strange projectiles streaked across the void. Earth's ships scattered, their eye-driven evasive maneuvers kicking in instantly. "Return fire," Admiral Chen commanded. "Squadrons A through F, engage their left flank. G through L, take the right. The rest with me. We're going for their command ship." Earth's fleet moved with surprising agility. The months of training and advanced technology were paying off. Smaller, faster Earth ships darted between the larger Empire vessels, their weapons finding weak spots in the alien defenses. On Tommy's Justice, Captain Rodriguez led his squadron against a group of Empire destroyers. "Fire photon torpedoes," he ordered. The advanced weapons, developed using the quantum technology Earth had rushed to perfect, streaked towards their targets. When they hit, the Empire ships were engulfed in explosions far more powerful than their size suggested. "Direct hit," Rodriguez's tactical officer shouted. "Their shields are down." Meanwhile, Admiral Chen's group pushed towards the Empire's command ship. The massive vessel's defenses were formidable, shrugging off attacks that had destroyed smaller ships. "Dr. Tanaka," Chen called to her science officer, "we need a weakness." Dr. Yuki Tanaka's fingers flew over her console. "I'm scanning, Admiral. There's something. Wait, I've got it. There's a fluctuation in their shield pattern. If we time our attacks just right." Chen nodded. "All ships, focus fire on these coordinates. Time your shots to my mark." The Earth ships maneuvered into position, taking heavy fire. Several exploded in brilliant flashes, their crews making the ultimate sacrifice for their planet. "Steady," Chen said, watching the data on her screen. "Steady. Now, fire everything." A concentrated barrage of Earth's most powerful weapons struck the Empire's command ship at precisely the right moment. For a second, nothing seemed to happen. Then, with a silent flash visible even from Earth, the massive ship split in two. A cheer went up across the Earth fleet, but their celebration was short-lived. The remaining Empire ships fought with increased ferocity, their strange weapons tearing through Earth vessels. Hours passed. Space itself seemed to warp with the intensity of the battle. Ships on both sides were reduced to drifting debris. The once neat formations had dissolved into a chaotic melee. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, the remaining Empire ships began to retreat. They vanished into hyperspace, leaving behind a battlefield strewn with the wreckage of both fleets. On Earth's Vengeance, Admiral Chen slumped in her chair. They had won, but at a terrible cost. Nearly a third of Earth's fleet was destroyed or badly damaged. "Status report," she said, her voice hoarse. "We've won, Admiral," her XO replied. "The Empire fleet is in full retreat, but our losses are significant." Chen nodded slowly. "Send word to Earth. Tell them we've won our first battle. But the war has only just begun." As the message was sent, the crews of Earth's remaining ships began the grim task of searching for survivors and assessing their damages. They had faced the Galactic Empire and emerged victorious. But as the adrenaline of battle faded, a sobering reality set in. This was only the first of many battles to come, and the Empire would not underestimate them again. In the quiet of her ready room, Admiral Chen looked at a photo of a young boy, Tommy, the child whose death had started this war. "We've taken the first step," she whispered. "We will finish this. For you, for all of us." 2 weeks had passed since Earth's fleet won their first major battle against the Galactic Empire. The victorious but battered fleet pushed onward, their destination clear, the Empire's homeworld. Admiral Sarah Chen stood on the bridge of Earth's vengeance, her eyes fixed on the holographic map before her. The blinking dot representing their target grew closer with each passing moment. "Status report," she commanded, her voice carrying the weight of their mission. "We're 3 days out from the Empire's home system, Admiral," replied her XO. "Commander Jackson. Our long-range scanners are picking up heavy defenses." Chen nodded grimly. "As expected, they won't give up their home without a fight." Across the fleet, ships buzzed with activity. In engineering bays, crews worked tirelessly to repair battle damage. In medical bays, doctors and nurses tended to the wounded. Every soul on board knew that the coming battle would decide the fate of Earth. On Tommy's Justice, Captain Jake Rodriguez reviewed battle plans with his team. The photo of his son, Tommy, watched over them from its place on the command console. "We've come too far to fail now," Rodriguez said, his voice firm. "Whatever happens, we make sure Earth is safe." His crew nodded in agreement, their faces a mix of determination and fear. As the fleet approached, they encountered increasing resistance. Small groups of Empire ships would appear, engage in brief skirmishes, then retreat. Each encounter left Earth's fleet more damaged, more drained. "They're trying to wear us down," Dr. Yuki Tanaka observed during a strategy meeting. "By the time we reach their homeworld, they hope we'll be too weak to fight." Admiral Chen's face hardened. "Then we need to conserve our strength. No more chasing after every ship that takes a pot shot at us. We save our energy for the final battle." The order went out across the fleet. Maintain formation, defend, but do not pursue. It was a tense journey, with Empire ships nipping at their heels, but Earth's fleet held firm. As they entered the outskirts of the Empire's home system, a transmission crackled through their communication system. To everyone's surprise, it was in perfect English. "Attention, Earth fleet." A deep alien voice resonated through every ship. "This is Emperor Zax Thor of the Galactic Empire. Your attacks on our forces have not gone unnoticed. Turn back now, or face total annihilation." A hush fell over the fleet. This was the first direct communication they had received from the Empire leadership. Admiral Chen exchanged glances with her officers before responding. "This is Admiral Sarah Chen of Earth. We came seeking justice for an innocent child murdered by your forces. We will not turn back until that justice is served." There was a long pause before the alien voice spoke again. "You risk your entire species for one child. Your values are incomprehensible to us. That's why you'll lose," Chen replied firmly. Cut transmission. The silence that followed was heavy with anticipation. Then, on the edge of their scanners, movement appeared. The Empire's full home fleet was mobilizing. All ships, battle stations. Chen's voice rang out across the fleet. "This is what we came for. Remember your training. Remember Earth. Remember Tommy." As Earth's fleet formed up for battle, the Empire's homeworld came into view on their screens. It was a massive planet, covered in gleaming cities and orbited by dozens of space stations. In front of it, the largest collection of ships they had ever seen assembled, a barrier between Earth's fleet and their target. Admiral Chen took a deep breath. This was the moment that would decide everything. She thought of Earth, of all the people counting on them, of Tommy and his grieving parents. "All ships," she said, her voice steady. "Prepare for engagement. For Earth, for Tommy, for our future. Attack." With that command, Earth's fleet surged forward. The space between the two armadas quickly filled with weapons fire, lighting up the darkness of space like a deadly fireworks display. The final battle for Earth's survival, for justice, and for the future of the galaxy had begun. As the first shots were fired, everyone knew that by the end of this day, the fate of two civilizations would be decided. The vastness of space erupted into chaos as Earth's fleet clashed with the Galactic Empire's home defense forces. Lasers, missiles, and exotic weapons lit up the darkness, creating a deadly light show visible from the Empire's homeworld below. Admiral Sarah Chen's voice crackled over the comms. "All ships, engage your targets. Remember your training and watch each other's backs." The battle unfolded on a scale never before seen in Earth's history. Thousands of ships danced a deadly ballet, weaving between each other as they fought for survival and victory. On Tommy's Justice, Captain Jake Rodriguez led a squadron of fast attack ships. They darted between the larger Empire vessels, striking hard and fast before retreating. "Now," Rodriguez shouted. His ships unleashed a barrage of quantum torpedoes, ripping through the shields of an Empire battlecruiser. The massive ship exploded silently in the vacuum of space. But for every Empire ship destroyed, Earth lost ships too. The battle was fierce, with neither side willing to give an inch. In the heart of the fight, Earth's vengeance took heavy fire. Admiral Chen gripped her command chair as the ship shuddered under the assault. "Status report," she demanded. "Shields at 30%, Admiral," her XO replied grimly. "We can't take much more of this." Chen's mind raced. They were inflicting heavy losses on the Empire, but at a terrible cost. If something didn't change soon, Earth's fleet would be decimated. Suddenly, Dr. Yuki Tanaka's voice cut through the chaos. "Admiral, I've detected a weakness in their defensive grid. There's a central control station coordinating their fleet. If we can take it out." Chen didn't hesitate. "All ships, this is Admiral Chen. We have a new primary target. Transmitting coordinates now. Concentrate all fire on this position." Earth's remaining ships regrouped, forming a spearhead aimed at the heart of the Empire's defenses. They took heavy fire, ships exploding left and right, but they pushed on relentlessly. "We're almost there," Chen muttered, watching as they closed in on the target. "Just a little more." At that moment, a massive Empire dreadnought moved to block their path. It was easily 3 times the size of Earth's vengeance, its weapons already powering up for a devastating strike. Time seemed to slow down. Chen knew they couldn't survive a direct hit from that monster, but if they turned back now, all hope was lost. Suddenly, Tommy's Justice streaked past the flagship. Captain Rodriguez's voice came over the comms, calm and determined. "We'll clear the path, Admiral. For Tommy. For Earth." Before Chen could respond, Rodriguez's ship accelerated to maximum speed, aiming straight for the dreadnought. Other ships from his squadron followed, forming a suicide squad. "Jake, no," Chen shouted, but it was too late. The smaller Earth ships slammed into the dreadnought, their reactors overloading on impact. The resulting explosion was blinding, tearing the massive Empire ship apart and leaving a gap in their defenses. "All ships, forward," Chen ordered, her voice thick with emotion. "Don't let their sacrifice be in vain." Earth's fleet surged through the opening, unleashing everything they had at the Empire's control station. Under the concentrated assault, the station's defenses failed. It exploded in a spectacular fireball, taking out nearby Empire ships in the process. Almost immediately, the coordinated movements of the Empire fleet began to falter. Without central control, their formations fell into disarray. "Press the advantage," Chen commanded. "Don't let up." For hours, the battle raged on. But slowly, surely, the tide turned in Earth's favor. One by one, the Empire ships were destroyed or forced to retreat. Finally, as Earth's battered fleet faced the last remnants of the once mighty Empire armada, a transmission came through. It was Emperor Zaxthor himself. "Enough," the alien voice said, sounding tired and defeated. "We surrender. The battle is yours." A stunned silence fell over Earth's fleet, broken only when Chen replied, "We accept your surrender. This war is over." Cheers erupted across every ship in Earth's fleet. They had done it. They had won. As the reality of their victory sank in, Chen looked out at the Empire's homeworld. They had achieved justice for Tommy, but at a tremendous cost. Now, they faced a new challenge, ensuring this never happened again. "Send word to Earth," Chen said quietly. Tell them we remember Tommy. And now we look to the future." As Earth's fleet began the long journey home, they left behind a changed galaxy. Humanity had proven itself a force to be reckoned with among the stars. The road ahead would be challenging, but Earth was ready to take its place in the galactic community. And somewhere, on a distant plane of existence, a young boy named Tommy smiled, knowing his life had changed the course of history.